Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to share my full review of the Galaxy S26 camera performance, and trust me, I am not going to mince my words on this one. If OnePlus can receive such flack for downgrading the camera hardware on the OnePlus 15, then why should we spare Samsung? So in this video, let's compare the Galaxy S26 up against the OnePlus 15 and the Motorola Signature, both of the two devices which are significantly cheaper than the S26. Also, I'm going to give the S26 the best possible chance, so I have installed the camera assistant application and enabled 24 megapixel mode, so no excuses. Alright, let's start with photos first. Quick comparison between the regular 12 megapixel modes of all three devices and the OnePlus 15 and Motorola Signature pack significantly more detail than the S26 upon close crop. So let's switch to Samsung's 24 megapixel mode now and compare the detail, and you can see that in perfect daylight conditions, the detail captured in the 24 megapixel mode is way more than the 12 megapixel mode, and there is less over sharpening. Every phone should now provide a 24 or 26 megapixel upscaled mode. It's quite unfortunate that Motorola lacks this feature with such a powerful main sensor. Now, comparing all three together with Samsung and OnePlus in their high resolution modes, the OnePlus still captures more fine detail than the Samsung, with Motorola falling behind due to only being 12 megapixel and heavy compression. However, it's not always the case. At times, even the Motorola with its 12 megapixel only mode tends to capture more fine details than the Samsung despite perfect bright daylight conditions, with the OnePlus being even better. I'll zoom into each and every sample so that you guys can get a good look at the texture rendering, which is an objective metric to compare. For skin tones with the sun beaming directly on the face, the OnePlus and Motorola are more accurate. Maybe OnePlus is a bit more accurate. The Samsung is way off, way too orange, trying to emulate that iPhone orange skin tones. However, being backlit, the Motorola suffers from this excessive masking effect. The OnePlus 15 on the other hand is one of the best in these scenarios, with the Samsung doing decently. However, detail capture is way better with the Motorola and the OnePlus compared to the Samsung. Here is another example where you can see the Samsung being all noisy and lacking detail at the same time. Moving on to the 3x short telephoto lens, which is probably the most important lens for street photography, travel and portraits. Certainly just as important to me as the main lens, and here the Samsung is just pathetic. I cannot believe that this phone costs $900 and comes with this dog shit sensor for the telephoto. It is so bad. Detail rendition even under perfect bright daylight is much worse than the OnePlus and the Motorola. And remember how much flack OnePlus received for downgrading its telephoto. Why isn't Samsung criticized the same way despite being far worse? It's quite baffling, to be honest. I will continue this rant once we move into the portraits. Next up is the ultrawide. Now, I'm not much of an ultrawide guy, but for the ultrawide, all three are close, with the Motorola and OnePlus taking a small lead in bright daylight conditions. Okay, moving on to portraits, and for me, portraits mean only telephoto portraits, and here the Samsung Galaxy S26 disappoints majorly. First of all, thanks to my friend for being the subject and tolerating my shenanigans during the shoot. Anyways, coming back to the disappointment, that is the S26, not only is the detail rendition quite poor due to the pathetic sensor, but also the edge detection algorithms don't hold up well in 2026, with the OnePlus 15 blowing away the S26 with way better edge detection, and Motorola also being quite good while capturing much better detail. This photo is slightly less comparable due to the difference in the pose, but the Motorola almost nailed it. If not for the white masking effect, honestly that can be fixed while editing. Check out the enormous difference in noise and detail captured by the Motorola versus the Samsung. This is a difference of multiple generations. Also check out the almost pixel perfect edge detection on the OnePlus 15, it's quite crazy. Moving on to low light, the situation only gets worse. almost unusable for the S26. Like, what is this? It takes an eternity to even focus, very poor details, noise reduction artifacts all throughout the image, and poor edge detection. The Motorola, on the other hand, absolutely nailed it with a superb balance of detail and noise reduction. The image is clean AF on the Motorola, with the OnePlus coming at a close second. In the other low-light portrait example, the Samsung basically failed. I have no explanation for this mess. The photo is barely in focus and I don't know what kind of noise reduction is this. It is just a fail. Meanwhile, the Motorola's big hardware advantage, absolutely nailing the shot once again with great detail capture and exposure, with the OnePlus showing off its image processing prowess by coming a close second despite tagging quite mediocre hardware for the telephoto. Before moving on to nighttime photos, quick look at selfies. With the sun falling on the face, all three are good. I preferred the Samsung slightly more, but for backlit selfies, the Motorola fails with that white masking effect, trying to raise the exposure on the face. Between the Samsung and the OnePlus, I can't pick a winner. The Samsung has better skin tones, but OnePlus has better dynamic range. I guess the colors on the OnePlus can be fixed in post, so OnePlus wins by a narrow margin. Now for nighttime photos, the situation is much the same. The Motorola and OnePlus go back and forth, Moto with much better hardware and OnePlus with much better software processing. The Samsung falls behind quite a lot, particularly with a bad implementation of noise reduction, leaving behind messy noise reduction artifacts. The situation is the worst with the telephoto camera. It is almost unusable with the S26 in low light. The ultra wide though is not much different between the three at night. Now moving on to videos, I will not elaborate much, but during daylight with the main camera, whether it's 4K 60 fps or 30 fps, the OnePlus and Samsung are slightly better than Motorola. For the ultra wide again, same thing, the OnePlus and Samsung go back and forth, with the Motorola being just a notch below. For telephoto though, OnePlus and Motorola are almost equal here, with the Samsung falling a bit behind because of the trashy sensor. The Samsung and the OnePlus supports log video for all three lenses. I tested only for the main camera, and what I did was I graded both with the same Samsung log to Rec 709 LUT, and actually both look very similar. The Samsung Pro video mode captures ever so slightly better detail than OnePlus's Pro video mode. For vlog type footage with the main rear camera, the OnePlus captures much more detail on the face compared to the Samsung. OnePlus also provides better stabilization and skin tones. For 8K 30fps video, the OnePlus captures slightly more detail than Samsung. Note, the OnePlus and Motorola can also do 4K 120fps video, which the Samsung can't. I prefer OnePlus's real-time 4K 120fps video a lot more though. Quick selfie video 4K 60fps comparison, I prefer the Samsung, but the Motorola is quite good as well. With the shallowest depth of field, it just needs a bit more contrast. The OnePlus on this occasion is making the skin tones a bit too red. For low light video, the OnePlus and Motorola simply dominate the Samsung. I shot 4K 30fps only because it's low light. The OnePlus takes the lead for the main camera. Meanwhile, for the telephoto, both OnePlus and Motorola are tied, with the Samsung falling far behind. Finally, for portrait video, the Motorola doesn't offer this feature, and among the Samsung and OnePlus, I prefer the OnePlus. Yeah, Samsung is offering slightly better skin tones, but the OnePlus allows for telephoto portrait video, which looks really good on the OnePlus. Alright guys, so that's it for my camera review of the Galaxy S26. I must say that paying $900 for a device like this with this kind of hardware and this kind of camera output is basically a scam. I do not understand why no big mainstream YouTuber hasn't yet shredded Samsung for this kind of cost cutting and stagnation at this price range. But now you know. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. And please make sure to hit the like button, share and subscribe. Also, consider hyping this video. With that said, take care and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.